Hello, welcome everyone. You're joined with Leicester College for today's second session of the day. We've got the Launchpad team with us today, and they're going to be talking to you a bit about the course information of what we offer as part of Launchpad at Leicester College, and also opening the session up to a live Q&A. So hopefully this is useful for all of you, and please feel free to send in your questions during the presentation and we'll do our best to answer them at the end. I'm going to now hand over to Rebecca, who's going to kick things off for you.
Hi, my name's Rebecca. I'm the Programme Area Manager for Launchpad, and with me today I have Katie Jane, who's one of our key workers, and we have a learner with us, Kayana, one of our current learners, so she'll be able to answer any questions from a student perspective. I have a little PowerPoint to go through to show you and try and explain exactly what Launchpad is all about. So if we're happy to get the first slide up. Okay, so welcome to Launchpad. Second slide. So Launchpad, the name, doesn't really explain exactly what we're all about. So we're going to try and break this down during this PowerPoint for you and during the question and answer session at the end. So Launchpad is one of the smallest areas within Leicester College, and it looks just at maths and English. It's a course designed for young people who want to re-engage with education. So when we say re-engage, what does that really mean? So it could be people that have been homeschooled for a while and they want to get back into formal education and do some exams and get some qualifications. It could be students that perhaps got disengaged with school, the school environment didn't suit them, perhaps they missed a lot of their schooling because of ill health or bullying, or it could be any number of reasons why school perhaps didn't work for them and they're ready to now re-engage with education again. It can also be for those who did not achieve the required grades for their next course. So, for example, if you wanted to do a level 2 in construction and you needed to have a level 1 English and maths but didn't quite get it, you could spend the year with us and work hard to get your functional skills level 1 so you can move on to your level 2. It helps to build confidence as well. Whilst you're at Launchpad, we do an awful lot of personal and social development, and I'll talk a bit more later on about exactly what kind of topics and themes that covers. So Launchpad is looking at the academic side, so your maths and English, but we also want to make you a more rounded person and make you ready for those next steps, whether it be an apprenticeship, employment, or another course. It can be for those who are unsure about what they would like to do in the future, but really it's for those people who do have an idea of the journey they want to go on, but just haven't got the right grades to get them on that path and get them on that course, whether I say, it's an apprenticeship or a level 1, level 2, maybe even an entry course in whatever vocational area you're looking at. Can I have the next slide, please? So where are we? Leicester College is a huge college. There's 3 massive campuses, and we're based at the ones at Freeman's Park. We have a little building all to ourselves, so we're quite lucky in that respect. We share the campus with construction, hair and beauty, catering are there as well. So it's a big campus. It's based in the city centre, so there's lots of buses that go directly to the campus. If you do apply for a course at Leicester College, you can also apply for the Learner Support Fund, and that can help you out with giving you a bursary for travel or meals as well at the college if you are entitled to them. That's definitely of help, but it's very easy to find. Right, so what do we offer? So like I've said, it's all about the English and maths, and you won't find a course that gives you as much English and maths as we do to give you the best chance possible of gaining that qualification and moving on to the next course. So we have 10 hours of English and maths, so it's 5 hours English and 5 hours maths. Personal and social development, like I've said, and I'll cover that in a slide in a bit. We do careers and we do a work experience placement, and we also do the world of work, which I'll talk about when we get down to those slides. We also have cooking. This is really about healthy eating, looking after yourself, cooking on a budget, what's right for you, what's wrong for you. And within the cooking, we also work with the Bridge, which are a local homeless charity, and we provide lunches for them. So we look at how we can give back to our local community as well. We offer regular one-to-one tutorials. So each group, or what you would call traditionally a class, has a key worker designated to them, and they will do one-to-ones, and they'll talk about any problems, any barriers you're facing. It can be social, emotional, can be academic, a whole array of things. They're there to help and support you through your time while you're at Launchpad, while you're at Leicester College, and getting you ready for those next steps. and give you the best possible opportunity to pass those qualifications. The mentoring system we have as well, so you have access to a mentor and counselling services. So if you're having any problems whatsoever, we can help out with housing, financial support, mental health well-being. We can support with anger management, behaviour, any issues you have that you want to get some support, if we can help out there, relationships as well. And like I say, each class has a key worker that supports them, and they will go and do every lesson with them. So that key worker will do maths, they'll do English, they'll do the PSD, they'll do the cooking, they'll be there throughout their time at Launchpad. So the maths and English, we have 3 tutors at Launchpad who are maths and English specialists, and they'll support you through. So we do entry level right up to functional skills level 2. So we don't do GCSEs. Functional skills at level 2 are the equivalent to the GCSE grade 4, if you like, and can help you get to that next course. But instead of having to perhaps read a book like Pride and Prejudice and do essays and reports on it, functional skills is looking at how do you use maths and English in the real world, you know, so booking a holiday, decorating a room, paying your rent, how you can use maths and English in everyday life. So it makes more sense. And it's exam based, you have exams at the end of the year. So 5 hours maths, 5 hours English, and you'll be taught in groups at the same level as yourself, so similar abilities. Yeah, the classes are tailored for your level of study. Next slide, please. So the personal and social development side of it. So lots of people kind of say, what is this? What do we need to do? It is a government requirement that we support you, and it's all about giving you the qualifications, yes, but you also need to be ready for those next steps in life. So ready for those interviews, ready for the world of work, ready for further education or higher education, making you a more rounded individual. So we do lots of activities that help with confidence, and we do this in a safe environment in small groups. We look at well-being and safety, so this can be online safety, bullying, stereotyping, cyberbullying, looking after your mental health and well-being, looking at alcohol, drugs, a whole array of issues really. Communication skills, organisation and study skills. So are you prepared? Are you ready? Do you have a plan? Do you know where you're going? Do you know what you need to achieve? Are you able to get places on time? We do a lot of teamwork activities. Social skills, like I've said, communication is a biggie. And we attend cross-college events and training. And we also do stuff external too. So before lockdown, we were about to go and do some bike rides together. We'd arranged some time in a professional recording studio to go and do some work there. And we'd also agreed a 5-week programme with Leicester City Football Club, looking at teamwork, organisation and communication skills. So we do lots of stuff, not just on site, but off site too. Internally, we did a speed networking event this year, where lots of different employers came in and their staff members, and the learners sat with each one, did like a mini interview. And it gave them a real insight into what different careers are out there and what you need to do to get into that career. And it was a real eye-opener for some of them, because they realised, you know, what is available to them. Next slide, please. So the healthy lifestyle. So this is the cooking we mentioned. So we look at domestic cooking, how to look after yourself and the importance of this. We talk a lot about how evil energy drinks are, and other smoothies and things like that are better for you. Meal planning and budgeting food. We look at nutrition and well-being and the impact this can have, because, you know, if you're not eating the right things, that will impact on your learning, your ability to concentrate, how you sleep, all those kind of things, how you're feeling. And really importantly, we're really proud of this because this only started this year. We work with the Bridge, the local homeless charity, and we prepare lunches for their art therapeutic group that they do. And that was a great thing to get involved with. And that was off the back of some of the students kind of suggesting that we should be doing something like that. And we were really pleased to be able to set that up before the lockdown happened. Next slide, please. Careers. So we're going to do a 5-week block on careers, where you'll have support and guidance to help you discover your career and your pathway. Because you know, it's great knowing what you'd like to be, but you have to understand what you need to do to get there. So it's about understanding your progression and opportunities. We're looking at employability skills and how we can develop and hone these. We look at how to apply for a job and how to apply for courses. And we look at how we can write a CV and personal statement. We do interview practice and preparation for job searching. Within this, we have our work experience and WOW programme, which I think I'm going to cover in the next slide. But careers is a big part. The college has a careers team as well, and they come in and do some talks with us, and we arrange one-to-one appointments for the students to go and have a chat with them to talk about what they're going to do next and what their options are. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the work experience. So we do 32 hours a week of work experience. This is over a 2-week period, and we will support you to find a suitable placement. It's great if you can come with us with a placement already. Well, obviously, we have to do the health and safety paperwork and make sure everything's in place and it's suitable for you. But that's really helpful. If you don't have a placement in mind, we can do that for you. Placements this year include the King Power Stadium. I think we sent 12 people in total to the King Power this year. Hair and beauty salons, restaurants, cafes, working with tradesmen such as plumbers, mechanics and landscaping. We use the college facilities as well, because we're really lucky that we have a beauty salon there, and we have 2 restaurants, and we have a massive admin departments as well, and customer service department. So some people will stay within college and have a tour around that and try different things. Other people will go to external places. From the work experience as well, it's great for you to be able to use them as a reference when you're applying for future jobs. The work experience can help you decide whether that's something you really want to do or you really don't want to do. And sometimes it has led on to apprenticeships and an actual job out of it. One learner this year, he got a job with Baby Sheds, and King Power Stadium said that they would like to have taken a couple of the learners on, but the students have decided to go on to a different level course at college instead. The WOW programme we do, so this is something that's internal, and all the students at Leicester College do the WOW programme, which is called the World of Work. Here you will have employers will come in from industry and give talks, talk about what kind of thing they're looking for, how you can progress within their organisation. And then we do lots of team building activities as well. So this year, the learners went and experienced the escape rooms in Leicester, where they had to work as a team, find the clues and get out in a certain time frame. But it was a good experience, a good thing to do. Next slide, please. You also have the chance to be a course representative. So each group within Launchpad is represented by 1 or 2 course reps who is voted for by their peers. So when we say groups, it's the classes again. We have 4 groups in Launchpad, and each one will have a course rep. Kiana was one of ours. So the course reps, they have to do a survey with their class, and they don't have to devise the questions. That's given to you from the student union. And it's to find out what the students think about the college, the course, the tutors, the work, what's their experience like, they're happy with the enrichment, what would they like to do more of, what would they like to do less of. Obviously not maths and English, you have to do that anyway, but we like to hear back from what the learners' experience is. So the course reps, they run the surveys with them, then they'll meet with me and talk about the feedback. They also have the opportunity to earn incentive points for participating in different course rep events. So this can be going to external meetings, doing activities, and going to meetings with the principal as well. And the more activities you do, these are then converted into vouchers for you to spend. I think you can earn up to £100 if you take part in pretty much everything. It's a great opportunity, a great thing to do, and it looks great on your CV as well when you're applying for jobs or that next course next year. Next slide, please. So what happens after Launchpad? Well, all sorts really. So once you've got your maths and English at the level you need, you can then go on and apply for that next level of course. So this year, we have people who are going into access to higher education courses, level 3s, health and social care and beauty. Some people are going on to different colleges. We've got one going to Brooksby because they want to do horticultural gardening stuff, and we don't do that. So the idea is that you spend your time at Launchpad, you work very hard, you get your maths and English, and then you can progress onto the vocational course or the apprenticeship course that you really want to go on. Again, the careers team will support you with all of that, and the key workers help with your applications. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's my presentation. If you have any questions, please stay online. You can ask myself or Katie Jane, the key worker, or our student, any questions that you think are perhaps I haven't quite answered in the presentation. Thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Rebecca. Hopefully some of you watching that found that useful and you understand a bit more about what Launchpad is and what opportunities there are for you. So as Rebecca said, we're joined by Katie Jane and Kayana as well, and they're here to answer your questions. So Kayana is one of our current students at Launchpad, so she might be able to give you some insight into what the everyday kind of realities are, what things she's benefited from being enrolled in Launchpad, and just anything that anyone who's potentially interested might want to know. So please do feel free to get in touch with your questions. In the meantime, we are going to basically answer some commonly asked questions that we get around Launchpad and the service that we offer, to try and sort of help anyone that might have some general questions that need answering. So we'll kick things off with some for Rebecca and Katie Jane, if we can. So the first one is, how is English and maths at Launchpad different to school? I suppose that's quite an important one for any potential students. Yeah, here you go.
Okay, I mean, the first difference is that it isn't school, it's college. It's a very different environment. It's a much more mature, grown-up environment there. We have much smaller groups than you probably would have been used to at school, where you perhaps had 30, 35 in a class. The most we have is 16. And as I said in the presentation, we do functional skills. It's not your GCSE. It's not sitting there reading Pride and Prejudice and doing an essay about it. We're looking at real life skills and how you will use maths and English in real life. We have specialist tutors, and we give you 10 hours a week, 5 hours of English, 5 hours of maths. And like I say, it's the small groups that help, and that access to the key worker as well.
Cool, thank you very much. Next question, I suppose, is quite relevant at the moment. Something that people might not know the answer to is, what is a key worker?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. I am one of 4 key workers within the department. As Rebecca spoke about earlier, we're there to kind of academically support you in your maths and English lessons and all the other lessons that you do, like personal and social development and healthy lifestyles. But we also take care of your pastoral care. So that's your attendance monitoring, your punctuality, and we help set you targets that will help you take the steps needed to make sure that you are meeting those goals of yours, and that will allow you to progress to the next stages of your course. So maintaining what the college expects you to do. As Rebecca also mentioned, we help with anything that you feel might be stopping you from studying, or any issues that you're having both in the classroom and outside of it, sort of in your personal lives or in the wider college. And we can refer you to services that we feel would benefit you, and provide you with information and guidance. So we're basically just there to support you in every area of your studies.
Yeah, that's great, and hopefully that's something that will benefit people out there who are trying to make this decision, because it goes far beyond the kind of academic side, the service that you guys offer, and I suppose that's something that you don't get everywhere. And as you mentioned, and have been featured on these live streams as well, got a really good dedicated careers team who can kind of help push more of the kind of career side of things, based on some of the advice that you guys give. So a really important part of the service, really, and encourage people to make use of that. Again, it's something we're trying to do with the live streams as well, is just to give people information and access to things that will help them in their personal and careers, really. So yeah, please do make use of it. The next question really is more of a kind of advice based thing. So if someone's not sure what they want to do in the future, is Launchpad the right place?
I would go back to what you've just said, really. If you don't know what you want to do in the future, the first place, which is the right place for you, is our careers team. Go and have a chat with them, find out where you're at, where you could possibly be at in the future, likes, interests, that kind of thing. The Launchpad, it definitely isn't a stopgap. It's not a place to go if you're not sure if you're not sure about what you want to do, because doing 5 hours maths and 5 hours English a week is pretty hard going. You've got to be focused, thinking what I'm going to achieve at the end of it. So you have to know what your goal is. So if you don't know what you want from the future, I think the careers team is the right place for you.
Yeah, definitely. I second that. And please do check out some of the live streams the careers team have been doing every week, because you might find those useful too. Okay, a bit more about the kind of expectations, the reality of enrolling at Launchpad. What are the expectations of someone that enrolls?
The expectations to start with is to get through the 6-week induction period, and it's all about are you attending, are you punctual, are you motivated, have you got the right attitude to be doing this kind of learning with us at Launchpad. I would say they're the main expectations, to be open and honest with us. If something isn't working or something's going wrong, tell us about it, and to work with us so we can remove those barriers, as Katie Jane says, so we can allow you and support you to succeed. I would say they were the main expectations of the student while they're with us. I don't know if you've got anything to add, Katie Jane, on that one.
Yeah, I would say that though there aren't really formal entry requirements as such, I would say that I guess your entry requirements to do the full course is to get through the 6-week induction and prove that you really want to be with us, and work with us to, you know, to look at what might be preventing that and what will help you progress to the next stage of your education next year or training.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Next question, probably quite an important one at the moment, and it's something that we're getting asked quite a lot around the college, about entry requirements or getting places on courses and applying and stuff like that. So can you give us a bit of advice on how someone would ensure they get a place at Launchpad?
Okay, so there aren't any entry requirements. If you've got above a grade 4 though, or a grade 4 in maths and English, then Launchpad isn't the place for you, because we're the place to help you get to that level, if you like. So if you do want to make sure you get a place on Launchpad, you do need to go to the college website and apply using the online application process. And then a member of the team will be in touch with you. So make sure you answer the phone, check your emails, and they will arrange a telephone interview with you. And it might be that you're invited in for a face-to-face interview as well, just to make sure that you're happy with us and you know what you're getting yourself in for in a way. But yes, so no entry requirements, but you do need to apply online.
Thank you. Yeah, and just to reassure anyone who's got questions around the current situation, coronavirus and the college, please do go to the college website. We've got some FAQs on the homepage, which should answer a lot of the questions that we're getting around general opening and things like that. So please do check that out. And also bear in mind that most of our teams around the college are working remotely at the moment. So please feel free to get in touch with us if you've got any specific questions. Okay, next commonly asked question that we have: why do I need to do work experience?
Okay, work experience is really, really important. It gives you the opportunity to get a reference from somewhere. You know, if you're applying for a job, applying for a course, if you can get a reference from a good work experience placement you've had, that's invaluable, really. It can help you work out, like I said in the slides, what you do want to do and what you don't want to do. Because sometimes you may think, yes, childcare is for me, and then after a week in a nursery, you realise it's a nightmare. It's not what you want to do at all. It helps you with your communication skills and your teamwork skills, and it prepares you for the next steps after you leave college. I think the important thing is it's trying things out, really, and self-evaluating yourself as well. What went well in that work experience placement? What do I need to work on next time? What experience was good? What was a bad experience? All of those kind of things. It's just 32 hours. And as I said in the slides as well, sometimes it can lead on to an apprenticeship, it can lead on to paid employment. And for me, the important thing is to get a good reference out of it as well and a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree, you know, work experience is something that everyone should at least try, and it can really surprise you with what your interests are. If it's something you thought you weren't interested in before, it can really change your mind. So definitely encourage people to do that. You're really unlikely to regret taking on work experience, I think. Okay, one more question around Launchpad itself from a staff point of view. I want to do maths and English, but not the other lessons. Why do you need to do them?
Okay, the short answer really is that it's a government requirement. They want you to do these additional PSD, as we call it, the personal and social development side of it. But it's valuable to you as a person, because you can have the best grades in the world, but if you haven't got those social skills and personal skills, those communication skills, and you're good at timekeeping and you're punctual and you're organised, you won't progress. So it's really important that you leave Launchpad as that rounded individual, full package, ready to go on and onto that next course, on with that career, and succeed in life, really.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like good advice to me. Thank you for answering those questions. Hopefully that's been helpful for anyone who's considering Launchpad and wanted to know a bit more about how it works and some of the information around courses and stuff. We're just going to wrap it up for the last sort of few minutes by asking one of our students, Kayana, a few questions, if that's all right, Kayana, about your involvement in Launchpad and how you found it so far. So again, got some kind of frequently asked questions that people want to know before kind of joining Launchpad, but please do feel free to submit questions if you're watching online, and make use of the time, because we've got a few minutes left and we'll do our best to answer any questions that we get in. So one for you, Kayana. This is something that we get asked from students. I'm nervous about starting college. What should I expect when joining Launchpad? I suppose you might be able to give us some first-hand response to that.
Well, when I first started, I was very nervous as well. But everyone's polite. All the people, like your classmates and things like that, they're very welcoming. If you do have any problems or anything like that, you can speak to your key workers, or you can speak to, say, counsellors or things like that, and they'll help you through it.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Well, that's good to know. The next question, well, you've partly answered this, but are the staff helpful when you've got a concern about something?
Yeah, 100%. Like, even teachers like Rebecca, key workers like Katie Jane, they're always helpful. I had a lot of trouble at Launchpad, and they helped me through it. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. And I suppose in a similar kind of question, the support that you get, can you give us a bit of information about what support someone would receive if they're involved in Launchpad?
Well, saying me, my confidence was at 0 when I started Launchpad, and also I was very angry as well. And they'll put stuff in place for you, like, say, with my anger, they'll help me with like different things, how to respond to stuff if I get angry, or my confidence, how to look at things better and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And it does seem like the team kind of goes beyond the sort of learning side of it, and there is a lot of support on all aspects of personal development. So that's really, really good for a lot of people. Hopefully this is quite obvious from talking to you for a bit, but do you think you've benefited from being at Launchpad?
Yeah, definitely. When I first started Launchpad, I didn't have a clue of I did have a clue what I wanted to do, but I just didn't know what grades I needed or anything like that. They helped me through it, and now I know exactly what I want to do, which is I want to go on to do health and social care and then go university.
Yeah, that's great. It's really good that it's provided you with a bit of direction and stuff as well, because that is it's a really difficult decision to make and to know what your next steps are. So yeah, I'd really recommend it for helping with that aspect. In terms of people, people on your course and classmates, what do you find in terms of how you work with each other? Are you supportive and that kind of thing?
I feel like we all try to push each other the best we can. And if there is an incident where we're not supporting each other, it will get resolved straight away.
Yeah, that's really important. The last question for you, Kayana, is would you recommend Launchpad?
Yeah, I would. 100%.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, I hope this has been helpful to everyone. I really appreciate you all coming on and talking to us about this. If anyone has any questions about Launchpad that we've not covered, please do feel free to comment on the broadcast and we'll do our best to answer it. Or you can contact Leicester College on the Leicester College website. Does Launchpad have a direct email that we can direct people to? Sorry, yeah, you're muted.
Sorry, no, we don't have a direct email. I would go email Leicester College, do the normal contact. If you go onto the website, there's the help me, contact us, all those kind of things. So email Leicester College and then they will send the inquiry on to us.
Brilliant. Yeah, hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into some of the benefits of Launchpad. Thank you guys for all taking the time out today and talking to us. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who tuned in. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation and the Q&A. Please make sure you tune into the next broadcast from Leicester College, which will be our live presentation next Tuesday. We're going to do a live Q&A with the careers team, so it could be really helpful potentially for those interested in Launchpad as well. That'll probably cross over a little bit into some of your questions. And there'll also be the student services team talking about applications and enrolment and answering questions around those aspects of college at the moment and how that looks during lockdown. We'll also be talking to you a bit about Discover LC campaign, which is launching the following week. Thanks again for joining me today, guys, and thanks to everyone who tuned in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.